But now, at that point, when the world is embracing you, essentially, and so many possibilities are coming, and you've moved from that point to come up with other works, you were leaving home kind of an imperfect scenario. How did you feel about being so far away, knowing what was going on to the country, knowing what was going on in your personal life?
You know, I tell you, I got to understand South Africa better when I was outside. Because when you were inside South Africa, it was like, oh yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. You are born under this system. You know it's not right. It doesn't feel right because other people, especially when I grew up as a young boy, I remember at about 5, 6 years of age, in Verulam, I had a white friend who was the same age as mine. And we used to go to the cinema together. And one day we went to the cinema in Verulam at Lakshmi Theatre. And there was a sign outside that was written, "No Bantu." So he had bought the 2 tickets for us to go and watch a movie. And as we were walking in, the guys at the door stopped us and said, "No, blacks are no more allowed in this theatre." We looked at each other and we said, what's wrong with us?
Yeah.
The boy said, "He's my friend, I'm going with him."
Yeah.
And I couldn't go in, I was stopped. That was my first impression of apartheid. This is when they introduced Group Areas Act. And we were then moved out of Verulam. The township of Kwamash was then built. So my family was then moved.
And you were detached.
Detached completely.
Yes.
So lost all my friends and everybody I was going to school with at that time.
Yeah.
And of course, then my father decided, you know what, let me take my children back to Zululand so that they can, because it was abnormal. The townships were just being introduced.
Yeah.
So no one knew how it would be like to live in these 4-roomed houses with people you don't even know.
Yes.
But then as one grew up, of course, it became normal to live under apartheid. We would protest it, but we knew that was the life. But being outside South Africa and seeing how other nations live, it became such a glaring picture that actually what's happening in South Africa is so wrong.
Yeah.
So whenever we came back, we were even more motivated to fight, to be in the liberation struggle, to use our craft as liberators. And indeed, you know, when we were traveling all over the world, we became a voice for the ANC in particular, and for the PAC, because those days,
it was one movement.
Those days, yes, it was one, whether it was PAC
Absolutely.
or ANC, it didn't matter.
One movement, yes.
It was the cause was the same. But the world was not paying attention to what the movement was saying because no one was reporting exactly what was going on in South Africa until we brought out these plays.
Yes.
Then the world began to realize how wrong apartheid was. And therefore, the ANC and the PAC rallied around us wherever we were.